So we're here to talk about Brian Vickers. He unfortunately had another episode with clotting last evening, and he is going to miss the race this weekend. It's Blood Clot Awareness Month, and Brian was here on behalf of our partners at Auto to talk about the importance of recognizing the symptoms and the feelings that you get when you are experiencing clotting. That was going to be the message for the weekend for Brian to talk about that, and unfortunately he's not going to be able to do that. But I think it's just a great example of how important awareness is and understanding what the symptoms are that if you have clotting. He recognized those symptoms. He got in touch with his doctors, and they began treatment on Brian. My mom, who had a stroke 20-some years ago due to clotting, she didn't recognize the symptoms, and it caused her to have a stroke. And she's in a wheelchair today and has to have 24/7 care because of that. So the message is powerful. The message is strong, that recognizing the early symptoms of clotting is important. And so we will continue to spread that message, and we will do it with Brian in our hearts and in our minds. His heart surgery back in December was a success. He was able to return and have a very competitive race in California, in Las Vegas, and we were really proud of Brian for that. And now he's going to be sidelined again. So we support Brian. We love his heart. We love who he is, and we don't know how long he will be sidelined. This is all very fluid and new information, and we're learning as we go. But we've elected, again, of course, to put Brett Moffitt in the car. Brett was a wonderful replacement driver when he drove for us at Atlanta, got a top 10 finish, and was really a great story for the Atlanta race and for our partner Aaron's over there. So we expect that Brett will race the car competitively, and he's certainly aware of the clotting issues that many Americans face, and he's well versed on Xarelto's message. So not only will he be a great driver for us this weekend, he will also be able to continue with me and Kevin Nealon and Arnold Palmer, some of the folks that Brian has partnered with at Xarelto, to spread the message of being aware of clotting and preventing the results that it can cause. Ty, do you have anything to add?
No, I just received a phone call, about 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's obviously disappointed in the result, but Brian has a lot of things in perspective, and the thing in perspective is that he was aware of the issue, thought he knew what it was confirmed, and he's getting the right treatment, and as a human being, he'll be fine moving forward, and that's the most important thing.
Questions?
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Rennsport Press Agency. Can you give an update? What's the current life of Brian? Is he in hospital, or he can walk around and can have a normal day-to-day life under medical treatment or observation?
He's in the care of his doctors and expects to be able to operate normally today. That's really all the information I have on what his current state is, other than he feels really good, and he's really sad.
Was he already in California? Was he already here when this happened?
Yes, sir. He had made his way. Brian and I both were in New Orleans on Wednesday evening at an event for our partner Aaron's, and we both traveled here yesterday.
that was kind of my question, was when you knew that this was going to be the point, and also if you could talk a little bit about how he's doing psyche-wise.
Like Ty said, Ty got the call in the middle of the night. When I last saw him, there was no indication, and that's the way Brian is. There was no indication that he felt bad, and he probably didn't. It probably just came on him in the evening, and like I said, I talked to his wife, and they're both very positive, and he feels good. He just is really. I know he wants to drive the car, but he also loves spreading the message of Xarelto and clot awareness. And so he told me and Moffitt, we better pick up. Moffitt has to pick up the driving in. I got to pick up the spreading the word in. And spreading the word is easy for me because, every time I look at my mom, I think about how that could have been prevented. And that's why awareness is so important to me.
Yeah, just one thing, if Brian were standing right here, you wouldn't know there was an issue. So,
and if he weren't a race car driver, you wouldn't know there's an issue. He'd just be on blood thinners, and he would be fine.
Right.
But in order to drive the car, he has to come off the thinners, and that hasn't worked out yet.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Where is Brian right now? Is he going to go back home? Where is he? And then short term, anything you guys have to do with moving Moffitt in the car? And long term, everybody admires Brian's spirit who've covered him. But long term, did you expect you would never have this issue again, or have you sort of planned for this?
Brian is in L.A. With his doctors, and I think that anything about what the rest of the day even holds, I would be speculating, and I don't want to do that. When Brian had his surgery, his doctor said that he wouldn't have any problem relating to the surgery, racing the car at Vegas, and that's exactly what happened, and the doctor was correct. He is more susceptible to clots, evidently, than you and I are, and we knew that could be an issue. Are we surprised? Yes. Did we think it would happen? No. And as far as Brett, he was here, and he's part of the MWR family in the system. He was doing some virtual testing for us this week, so he's been plugged in all week long, and he fits in Brian's seat, so there was no issues at all with getting Brett into the car, and he's never run a lap here at California Speedway, so that'll be fun to watch. And I love kids. He's like, I never run here before. This is gonna be cool, and I'm like, as the owner, you've never run here before, but he certainly overachieved for us at Atlanta in being able to. I was afraid when he got there with that youthful enthusiasm and exuberance, he would overdo it and mess up. And he was the opposite. He just was smart, methodically made his way through the race, and produced a great result at the end, outrunning Brad Keselowski on the same tires for that 8th place finish. I was really proud of that accomplishment for that young man, and love his heart and his spirit, and glad he's going to be able to step into Brian's car for him.
One of the things that I always say about Brett in Atlanta, I think it was his 8th race, but it was really like his Sprint Cup debut. With an organization that is running for race wins, the chase, with a full-time team. So it was impressive to see what he did when he had the opportunity with a full-time team.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. Can you say where the block cuts occurred? Like, are they in his leg? Are they in his arms? Can you say?
I think when we talk to him, we'll let him talk about all the locations and things of that nature relative to HIPAA rules and all that.
Okay. And would Moffitt be your guy no matter, for however long he is out? And have you talked at all with NASCAR yet about how many races Vickers can miss and be still chase eligible?
No, we haven't talked to NASCAR yet, and for the foreseeable future, Brett's definitely our guy. And but this just happened. So Rob's in England, and Ty and I have been in constant contact with Rob, and we're going to get through this weekend, and we'll have a plan next week to share with everyone.
So you have no idea whether it's, are we talking weeks or?
No idea.
We haven't had any direct conversation with the doctors, and we'd have to have that with Brian's permission. And right now, we said, Brian, you just take care of your business.
Quick. Louis Frank, Reuters. Are there any activities that Brian is supposed to do and any ones that he's supposed not to do?
I can't answer that. I don't know. I don't have the knowledge of that. I just know he can't drive the car, and that's the one that he wants to do the most. And also know that he wants to spread the word of Xarelto during blood clotting month, and now that's going to be predominantly mine and Brett's job. So we've got his back.
One more, guys.
Michael, Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Are you concerned that with him being out for a fourth time for medical reasons, this could be the end of his career?
I just know that I know his heart and his passion, and he would not say that, and so therefore I can't say that. You know, he will tell you he'll be. I guarantee you, he would tell you he'll be back in a couple of weeks or a couple of months or whatever the decision comes from his doctors that it'll be. So he's certainly overcome a lot, and I expect him to be able to overcome this. Obviously, this is a setback for our team and for Brian, but I think this morning we're just glad Brian's okay, and we look forward to learning more and coming up with a plan.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.